Welcome. There is one new bill introduced by the central government, VBSA, Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhisthan. Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhisthan Bill 2025. What is this bill talking about actually? Of course, there is one Congress leader, he called it as very bad Shiksha Act because he was arguing that according to this particular bill, they are worrying that opposition is worrying about it may give excessive powers to the central government over higher education. It may reduce the autonomy of universities. No, it encroaches the power that the constitution reserves the state regarding universities and higher education, and it may weaken India's federal structure. These are the main allegations made by these opposition parties. What actually they talk about at present, the universities are guidelines given by different things like UGC, AICTE, NAC, NBA, accreditation related institutions, and so there are different kinds of institutions are there that gives accreditations and affiliations to the universities. But majorly it is funded by the central government. State governments. Majority of the universities, even though there are central government universities, but majority of the universities are run by state governments. State governments will fund, state governments will recruit, state governments will appoint university vice chancellor. State governments will control the system there, administration there. They only control the syllabus. State governments only will look into which chapters to be included, which chapters to be excluded, and what to teach and what not to teach, and everything is in the state government till now. But now the worry is that this particular bill, what they're talking about, Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhyan Bill 2025, VBSA Bill 2025, they are talking about very bad Shiksha Act, called by very bad Shiksha Act by the opposition because of all these reasons, that all these powers, now what I said, recruitment of staff obviously will be in the hands of the universities, but the vice chancellor will be appointed by the central government and the regulations will be given by the central government. AICT, NCTE, NAC, NBA, all these kind of things may be controlled by the central government, and whatever the powers, the excessive powers may go to the central government. Now the worry of the states are that we are funding, we are recruiting, we are running the institutions, but the power is in your hand, the central government hand. That's why they're talking about it may weaken India's federal structure. It may weaken India's federal structure. What is the center's position now? The union government, what the union government is saying is that according to the central government, they're saying we are simplifying the education regulatory system. They're saying that we are coordinating and quality standards, improving and coordinating all the quality standards. They're saying that we are aligning the regulatory framework within the goals of the National Educational Policy, NEP 2020. They're talking about contains government oversight provisions similar to those that already exist in the current educational law, so it will not affect you. They mean to say that it will not affect you. See, actually, according to the central government, according to the Constitution of India, the education is dual control. State and central both will control the education according to the Constitution of India. That's why only these regulatory bodies like affiliation bodies will be in the hands of the central government, but the majority of the universities run by the states. But now that power, equal power, now the center has some half power and the state has some half power. Now the worry is that the center power will increase more than the state. Now the autonomy, the federal structure will be disturbed. This is the worry now. One center, earlier multiple central regulatory institutions, now this state, central government want to make one central regulatory instead of multiple, like NCT, ACT, and UGC. They wanted to make it one single regulatory form. So that one single regulation, the regulatory authority will be appointed by the central government now. Now one they appoint one single person, and that single person will control the entire universities across the country. Now the state will have the less influence in this on this particular higher education now. So this is actually major worry. Even though they're arguing that the single regulatory will reduce the burden and it will simplify the administration, the government is doing this. But what about the influence now? State universities, the state governments will have less influence. Like if you look at to Andhra Pradesh, like Andhra University and Venkateswara University, like Acharya Nagarjuna University, these universities are created by the state, funded by the state, and they appointed by the vice chancellors. Earlier they used to appoint the political parties, whoever in power. If someone comes to the power, they used to appoint according to their particular political structure, and then they used to appoint. Now the central, whoever is in the power at the center, they will appoint, not the chief minister here, who will influence now. The chief minister will lose control over the education now. So funding leverage is another issue. So okay, you are taking the power. Are you contributing in the fund? No, the funds your state has to look after the funds that we will not fund. We will only control. We will only take over the control of the entire education system. But funding is your responsibility. So this is actually where the state governments are worrying about. Academic standards, the curriculum and academic standards has to be set by the states based on the needs of the students within the state. So especially if you look at to Andhra Pradesh, majority of the Andhra students, they choose engineering and then they'll go for MS here to US and UK. Right? If you look at somewhere in the northern states, and they may prefer some medical education, and some states they may focus on lower education. So whatever, the states have different needs. When the states have different needs and they have academic standards are different, and accreditations are different, teaching qualifications are different, degree requirements are different, and research policies are different. When the states have different needs, and because the education levels are different from state to state, now the central government will control all the standards and equal standards and equal this is where they're going on. That's why NEET is the NEET system was opposed by southern states. This is the reason, because they used to conduct a NEET in the Tamil language in Tamil Nadu. So they changed it as Hindi and English, and then it became problem for Tamil Nadu students. So that was the argument by the DMK earlier. So how it's going to affect, that's the most important here. That's all. Let's see what happens, because we don't know what whether this bill will be passed or not. How many states will support, how many states will oppose, we don't know. But let's wait and see. Thank you. Namaskar.